My name is Katrina Plato. I have a doctorate from EGS in expressive arts therapy, and I also am a registered art therapist. I feel like I'm coming out of the closet because astrology is, for me, a very spiritual um, track of life. I see that the planets are and stars are like guides in our lives. And it's taken me a while to articulate how to bring expressive arts to weave it into astrology. And so I've found a couple of ways that I have, and I'm going to share those with you. I'll also share that I'm work right now as a therapist online with an IOP, intense outpatient. I see clients from 11 years old to 60-year-old in groups of like 6 to 10 people at a time. And this intense outpatient, people come for 3 months of 9 to 11 hours of therapy a week. And I'll see a group for an hour 3 times a week in that. In this structure, after these clients graduate from the 3 months, and they have their skills and they're feeling more stable, they're invited to come back to the association I work with, Charlie Health Incorporated in the United States. They're invited to come back as alumni. And in the alumni groups, I've been leading astrology sessions. And why I feel more inspired to come here and speak here for the festival is because the alumni that are coming back, it started with one group. I've been leading a moon journal group since 2007, I think, maybe earlier than that. And I'm going to speak to that today. So that was one group, and then a basic astrology group. And now I'm leading 4 astrology groups for alumni, and each of them have between 15 and 20 people that come every session. They're very eager, and then they rotate out. I don't know how many people I've met with, but it's quite a number of people are seeking assistance on how to navigate through these really challenging times. And my hope and my purpose is to show how astrology can be a guide for us in these very challenging times. And I get excited and passionate about it because I really believe that each of us chose to be here on this planet at this time. And I had you speak where you're from, because I feel like we are where we are supposed to be. Just like I feel like Aisha is where she needs to be in Egypt, bringing us all together as this really radiant guiding light. She has a certain gift that she is using, and we're all receiving from that. Each of us has a gift that we are here to experience and to offer. And the planets in the sky for centuries have been here as guides. So there's 2 parts of this that I have become more and more intrigued with. One is that astrology mathematically has a lot of is intrigue, how the math shows that the planets are aligned with our energy. And we are all, I believe, made of energy. Our bodies are magnetic fields. The earth has a magnetic field. The sun, we are affected by the sun and by the different planets, by the comets that come through our solar system. All of this is affecting us. And the more sensitive we are, the more we perceive it. So a lot of the people that are coming to me are highly sensitive, and they're wondering what they're feeling. So the information from astrologers can give us a little inkling, and then the expressive arts practices can help us ground and stay in our body and stay on in our calling of what we're here to do. So I'm going to circle back around to some of that and weave some of that in. I have been studying astrology for 32 years, and I find that I have to be careful because the language of astrology is very deep, and I want people who've never studied the language of astrology to be able to understand as I speak. So astrology is a language like Japanese or like French or like German. It has its own words, and it takes a lifetime to understand it, in my opinion. That's studying it for 32 years. First, I want to share with you why I feel astrology is important, and I'm going to play a short clip from a video. Okay. This is Pam Gregory, and Pam Gregory is an astrologer from the UK.
Major choice point. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of your choices and your focus at this time, more than ever. And I know I've been saying this a lot recently. I said it in the last update. It isn't a regular October or November or December. The choices we're making now are so important in terms of the reality that you're creating right now, but also the future timeline, the future trajectory or path that you're setting for yourself. It's a bigger deal because of all of the things I've talked about, all the convergences and game changers and the new energy coming in that we have right now. And we are co-creating in every moment with this new energy coming in that I'm going to go on to describe a little more in a moment. We are co-creating in every moment. Right now, as I'm making this video, we are in it and we are co-creating with it. So please be more aware than normal of your choices and your focus. Couldn't be more important.
Okay, I'm going to I find that Pam Gregory is one of the most articulate astrologers of our age. She not only covers astrology for each person, but she talks about the political significance around the globe of astrology. Her message is that she's been speaking for over a year now, is that the time that we're in now, 2025, 2026, 2027. This is a change time. And we can see it, right? In so many of you, like Rana, you were talking about Lebanon and the changes there. France is going through major changes. The United States is going through major changes. The planets that are speaking to this, the reason this is such a tense time is that there are several outer planets, Pluto, Neptune, Saturn, Uranus, that are in they're in what's a very tight degree of either 29 degrees or 0 degrees in their placement. And this may not make any sense to many of you, but it is that the planets are rarely at those points at the same time. These outer planets are all at these really intense times mathematically, and they're in conversation with one another about transformation. This is a time of change. And what she was speaking to in this video, and I'll share this in the chat, is that the planet Pluto, which is the metaphor of transformation, is going direct in Aquarius for the first time in our lifetime, for the first time in any of our lifetime. And as it moves into Aquarius, which is a sign that speaks to community and service and change, big change in community. We're seeing, like today in the United States, the community, the people are going out on the streets saying enough. We need to have the truth and speak the truth. Of course, this is a particular population speaking their truth, but we're noticing more and more people going out onto the streets, and that is a sign of Pluto and Aquarius. So I've been focusing for the last, since about 2004, I've been focusing on the planet of the moon, and that's been a planet that's been important to me. There may be a planet for each of you that is important. For me, the moon is important because it speaks to our emotions, how we nurture ourselves and how we nurture others. And it's a personal planet. The other personal planet would be Mercury, which speaks to how we communicate. Venus, which is relationships and beauty. And Mars is a very important planet. It's how we argue, how we deal with conflict. So, as a personal planet, that's important, as well as, globally. The outer planets also influence us, but they don't just influence us, they also influence us as a whole. So, Jupiter, wherever that shows up in your chart, speaks to where there's an expansion, where there's more faith, anything that it lights up, it can light up your shadow, and it can also light up what's a gift in your life. Saturn speaks to more of where you need or have discipline in your life and structure. And Uranus is also a planet of change, technology, being out of the box, and also being of service is another side of Uranus. Pluto is another favorite planet of mine. It happens to be, for those that do study astrology, it happens to be right smack on my ascendant, square my sun, which means that I'm always living a Pluto life. Pluto is about transformation. It's deep, deep psychological transformation. So it's about transformation at your core. And the other is, has anyone heard about the comet 3I Atlas? So I encourage you to look this up, and I'll write it down here. And this is going to be important through December. So 3I, I stands for interstellar. 3 means this is the third comet that is coming through our solar system from outside our solar system. It is only the third comet that the scientists have ever seen that is coming from outside our solar system. And what's fascinating about 3I Atlas and why scientists are watching this very closely is because it's in 5 degrees of our, there's a term that I wrote down. It's, how the solar system, the planets are all rotate together in this line within the Milky Way. So they're all in rotation. And this 3I Atlas comet is coming within 5 degrees of that rotation. So it's very closely aligned with the planets, which is very unique. There's other things that are very unique about this comet, which make people think that it is a very special, possibly specially a special organic material, that it would be in alignment. And those that are more intuitive or psychic in their abilities have been tuning into this atlas and say that it's bringing with it a lot of gifts to us, and it's affecting us energetically. So it came close to Mars on October 3rd, and it's coming close to us now, which is what Rhonda's referring to. And one of the things that's happening this week at this very moment, that has been happening over the last week, is that the solar flares on the sun have been very intense. And so the magnetic solar flares are reaching us, and as they reach us, they're affecting the Earth's environment. So we've been seeing a lot of earthquakes in Asia, the Philippines, New Guinea, and other areas that aren't as populated along the rim of where of the fault lines are, but they're intensifying. And there's geophysicists who have shown the connection between what's happening on the sun and what's happening on the earth. And 3I Atlas is part of this as well. So I share that because, again, we're all connected. We're all energy, going back to what I shared at the very beginning. And this, what Rhonda's referring to is these comets coming are part of this energetic exchange, and all those comets are affected by the sun as well. And so when they come here with their ions, it's affecting our energetic field. I'm not a scientist. I'm probably not speaking in really great language, but what I am struck with is the synchronicity and the timing. One of the real interesting things is that 3I Atlas will be closest to the Earth on December 19th, And when it is, that's another new moon on December 19th. And that new moon will be surrounded by, on either side, Mars and Venus. And Three-Eye Atlas is going to be at the it's going to be at the very center point of our solar system. So there's something mathematically. So everything's lining up. So for what? What is it lining up for? We're discovering what it's lining up for. In this moment, the Earth, the Sun, and Three-Eye Atlas are in a perfect line. So that's for this weekend. That's what Rhonda was referring to. That's what's coming back to me. So as these energies line up, notice what is lining up in your life, and notice what's lining up in the world too, and how it's affecting what we're experiencing.